word sincere a lot. It's to find someone, if you can see it in someone else, they're as sincere as you. We're all mirrors of each other's sincerity. A couple of announcements. One, it was a lovely sit on Sunday. On February 8th, we're going to have our annual All Sangha meeting at my house. Means I'm going to have to clean my house, so you better come. No. And I hope you all saw the notice. And on the 28th, we're doing a monthly vigil. The Sanctuary Coalition, the interfaith leaders are leading it. Monthly vigil at Courthouse Square. And it's on Wednesday nights from, I think, 6 to 7. Anyway, but once a month, and the next one is on the 28th. I'll keep reminding you. And I will also just say briefly, Minnesota. There's been a call by the interfaith leaders in Minnesota for interfaith leaders all over the country to come together on Thursday, to come in on Thursday and to ground together, and then on Friday to stand together. But for people who can't go to Minnesota, there is in the Bay Area, some of us will be fasting. If you look on the Engaged Buddhism section, which Anne keeps, I can't believe, Anne, I keep throwing these things at Anne because, so much is happening these days and she keeps posting them. So you should look in the Engaged section because Anne's working very hard to keep it up for us, and we try to put them on the board too. Fasting from 12 noon on Thursday to noon on Friday, and then some people are gathering at San Francisco to break their fast together. So all of that, and Ben Connolly wrote a great article for Lion's Roar, which is also on the Engaged Buddhism section. So I'm most happy not at protests, but at vigils and doing things like fasts. Those resonate with my heart. I mean, it all does, but so Gretchen is going to talk about, I think, relationship and spiritual friends.
Sangha.
And Sangha. And whatever, it's going to be perfect. Whatever. Yes, whatever you say will be perfect. And I'm so grateful. So go, Gretchen.
Thank you. I'll try to be loud enough to hear. I used these are the 3 books again that we were given, and 2 of them have whole chapters about Sangha and spiritual friendship. And
a little louder, they're saying.
Okay. I also found a couple things online.
No, a little still louder.
Uh-oh, I can see myself now.
Yeah, let's move this.
Oops.
Okay. Is that better? Say something, Gretchen.
Something.
Better. Say better. Okay, good.
Okay,
Great.
so what do we mean by Sangha? Sangha can refer to all sentient beings, even including blades of grass and roof tiles, or Dogen, or a group of people who practice Buddhist teachings together, such as our own Dharma Heart Zen. Norman says, if you only resonate with the absolute meaning of Sangha, universal and inspiring, broad, wide, and open, then maybe you love all of humanity and the whole earth, but you actually can't stand people, especially when they congregate in groups, and most especially when they congregate in spiritual groups.
Go ahead, confess.
I know a lot of people who feel exactly like this. They feel a part of the universal spiritual Sangha, but would never set foot inside a Buddhist or any other spiritual practice place. On the other hand, if you only believe in your Sangha of Zen friends, maybe extended to family and close friends, then you will quickly, like many religious people, find yourself insulated by your community's point of view. Consciously or not, you will see others as outsiders, people who just don't get it. and this will eventually lead you down to a path of exclusivity, seeing people as aliens, other people as aliens. Like so many things in Buddhism, we aspire to experience both the big Sangha and the personal one, tempering our individualism with community, not to insist so much on our own expression, our own viewpoint, our own way of doing things. There's a great beauty and sense of belonging in doing things together, feeling yourself as one part of a shared body, practicing as one. The story of Ananda asking Buddha whether having good and encouraging friends was very important for the path, and if indeed it was half the path, is often told. As Norman recounts it, recounts it, no, Ananda, the Buddha told him, having good friends isn't half of the holy life. Having good friends is the whole of the holy life. He also tells the story of the Megillah, is that Megillah? Sutta, in which an eager young monk, Megillah, wanted to, here it is. Wanted to practice meditation alone in an especially peaceful and beautiful mango grove. But Megillah's meditation was anything but peaceful and beautiful. To his shock, he found his mind a snarl of malicious, lustful, and confused thoughts, probably because his practice was too self-involved. When Megillah rushed back to report his confusing experience, Buddha was not surprised. He took the opportunity to give Megillah what he must have hoped was a relevant teaching. 5 things induce release of heart and lasting peace, the Buddha told him. First, a lovely intimacy with good friends. Second, virtuous conduct. Third, frequent conversation that inspires and encourages practice. Fourth, diligence, energy, and enthusiasm for the good. And fifth, insight into impermanence.
Can you say those again?
I sure can. I think I could stop right there, huh? First, a lovely intimacy with good friends. Second, virtuous conduct. Third, frequent conversation that inspires and encourages practice. Fourth, diligence, energy, and enthusiasm for the good. And fifth, insight into impermanence. Okay. Then, for Megillah's further benefit and to cement the point, the Buddha goes through the list again, this time preceding each of the other items with the first. When there is a lovely intimacy between friends, then there is virtuous conduct, and so on. In other words, friendship is the most important element in the spiritual path. Everything else naturally flows from it. So, the third of the triple treasures, the whole of the holy life. For Damyo Burke, a teacher in Oregon, Bright Ways In, it was not obvious initially, as I found online. Like many, she started reading and listening to recording teachings, but was unsure about Sangha. And I'm quoting now. What about the Sangha, though? That's the community of Buddhist practitioners. Was the treasure of Sangha really necessary? Was it important to get together with others to practice Buddhism? I associated groups of spiritual or religious people, fairly or not, with all kinds of negative things. Prejudice, conformism, judgmentalism, cults. Just a few years before I got into Zen, I had told a friend, if I ever get into organized religion, shoot me. This, still, because I found the teachings of Buddhism so fascinating and helpful, and because I really liked meditation, I decided to give Sangha a shot. I looked up Buddhist churches in the phone book. She says, I realize this dates me. and visited a couple local groups. The third one I attended felt like home, and despite my prior biases, I have been intimately involved with Sanghas ever since. After many years, I realized and accepted the fact that Buddhist practice doesn't relieve us of our humanity. We still make mistakes, have weaknesses, and encounter problems. We still feel from time to time sad, depressed, confused, and discouraged. But practice lets us see that we are larger than these experiences. They come and go and don't define who we are. We learn to face our issues head on rather than distract ourselves or live in denial. We become more honest with ourselves and others. We accept ourselves and our humanity and ironically taste enlightenment as we do so. The result is an environment where, for the most part, people aspire to accept and embrace all Sangha members equally, and then take responsibility for their own negative feelings and reactions. Naturally, you're going to gravitate towards particular people, but the background aspiration based in Buddhist practice is learning to let go of our attachments and preferences and to treat all beings with openness and compassion. She quotes from Thich Nhat Hanh. Taking refuge in the Sangha means putting your trust in a community of solid members who practice mindfulness together. You do not have to practice intensively. Just being in a Sangha where people are happy, living deeply the moments of their lives is enough. Each person's way of sitting, walking, eating, working, and smiling is a source of inspiration, and transformation takes place without effort. Then with Zenju Earthen Manuel, she has what she says is, when we say, I take refuge in Sangha as the perfect life, we are embracing spiritual friendship and the community of those who have devoted themselves to the teachings of the Buddha. Buddhists say perfect life because to be a part of a community, any community, is to be fully supported on the path of liberation. Community is an expression of our interrelatedness. In Sangha, everyone has come together with an express willingness to deal with their suffering and its impact on others. And back with Norman, in the Buddhist path, spiritual friendship takes place in the context of community. Life in a Sangha is built on teaching, dedicated meditation practice, and a shared commitment to going beyond self-interest and personal need. Spiritual friendship is less about personal connection than it is about helping one another grow in faith and goodness, to realize, as we say in Zen, our true nature. Sangha friendships are forged and grounded in silence. And Susan Moon asks in the What is Zen book, why do we do everything together in Zen practice? We start eating at exactly the same moment. We do walking meditation in a line together like kindergarten children. We chant in unison, we bow together, we wear similar clothing. And Norman responds, yes, Zen is a together practice. We Americans aren't used to that and typically don't like it. We affirm individuality, not togetherness. We pride ourselves in our autonomy and freedom to do and express in our own way. So participating in a practice that seems to require full conformity, doing everything together in the same way at the same pace, even standing and walking in prescribed postures while wearing the same kind of clothing, goes against the grain. Practicing together in harmonious community without emphasizing individuality expands your sense of self to include others. It makes you appreciate your individuality not as something unique and better than or worse than, that of others, but rather as an expression of something fundamental and universal in human beings. And this makes you gentler and more flexible in your view of and interactions with others. It's one thing to have this idea and another to literally train in it every day in the Zendo. When you train in it, it goes deep into your body and from the body into the mind and heart. Suzuki Roshi once said that when he saw all of us lined up in proper Zen posture, wearing proper Zen clothing, he could then and only then see our true unforced individuality. We say that whoever comes into Sangha is a member of the community, regardless of social class, race, sexual orientation, or acceptability of appearance, personality, or point of view. An ideal not always realized, but an explicit commitment. Zen isn't really about Zazen and koans. It is about how we live, who we are, and how we treat others. Ooh. In Sangha, let's see. It's not unusual to be in a community with someone who pushes your buttons. Exactly the sort of person you would avoid at all costs in ordinary life will appear in your Sangha. There he or she is, your father or sister, childhood nemesis, or ancient school or workplace enemy, sitting right across from you in the meditation hall. You will have to deal with this person in ways you would never have to you would never do if left to your own devices. And eventually they may become a valued friend. So Earthlyn Manuel, Zenju Earthlyn Manuel describes her experience with this kind of thing when she was practicing Nichiren Buddhism. I went to a teacher to complain about a roommate. The first thing she said was, the teacher said, was, why are you so arrogant? I started to explain to her again that this roommate was the problem, not me. She laughed and repeated her comment, adding, you think you're better and that you're right. I looked around the room as if someone were playing a joke on me. I thought to explain for the third time, but instead I sat quietly, upset that she just didn't agree with me. I was eventually excused and directed to chant until the mirror of my life was illuminated. Therefore, I chanted the Lotus Sutra, the practice in Nichiren Buddhism, for hours, hoping to get this roommate to behave. Instead of ways to control the roommate, what came forward was a reflection of myself. I began to list in my head the things I didn't like about this roommate. The first thing on the list was that she was arrogant in the same way that the teacher had said I was. I kept chanting, and then before I could get through 30 minutes of chanting, there was a laundry list of what I didn't like about this roommate. As I began to write them down so I wouldn't forget, I realized the behaviors listed were the very things I secretly did not like about myself. The reflection finally had revealed my roommate's face to be my own. Sangha is often described as a rock tumbler, where after long practice, our sharp corners are smoothed away in contact with each other like rocks being polished by rubbing against each other, being polished into beautiful, rounded stones, each keeping its own individual beauty and uniqueness, perfect in their imperfection. So back to Norman says, spiritual friendship requires, oh, well, I decided against that. Oops. Many of us come for and are healed by being in community. Susan Moon asks about this. What if a person who is lonely, single, and lives alone without family joins a Zen center for the company in order to feel a sense of belonging? What if she likes the Sangha potlucks more than sitting zazen? Norman responds, the need for belonging is one of the deepest of all human needs, maybe as deep as the need for food. It seems to me that this need goes to the heart of why human beings have always practiced some form of communal religious life in virtually all times and places. Religious practices and forms evoke a deep sense of belonging. If religious need is a deep human need, then the need for belonging is a religious need. So the person who comes to practice not for Zazen or Zen teachings, but for the potluck and the sense of community is as worthy a Zen practitioner as any other. She, like everyone else, is participating with Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha to meet her deepest human needs. Being myself single and living alone without nearby family, I particularly value this aspect of Sangha. Sometimes after Sangha, as folks head to their cars and chat together, maybe about plans they made for lunch or an outing, which do not include me, I can experience a wave of loneliness as I head home alone. I know that what I experience, others do as well. We are and are not alone, and often I have been the one happily discussing plans to meet. I also know that when we have all-day sits and retreats and there are many beloved friends I rarely see, I have felt so frustrated by having to be in silence. I think that I don't so much feel the need to be silent as I'm silent seemingly all the time at home except when talking to the pets. I know for many who live with others, the silence is precious, and respect that and practice enjoying being together without words. During COVID, our Sangha served as a lifeline for many of us, and in these often awful days continues to do so now. I was greatly helped through caring for and losing my sister with the Sangha, and more recently felt the joy of the birth of my grandson magnified in sharing the news here. I felt wonderful support during my time as Shuso, and our Sangha continues to provide a deep experience of belonging and loving community. So, from Sunday's service, may this Sangha be peaceful and harmonious, stable and free from calamity, as we practice joyfully together with all beings. Thank you.
That was so sweet. What do you think the emotion is, Gretchen? Besides really feels so good.
Oh, just, I really mean it, I guess, it's yeah. I'm done. So of course, we would ask, what does Sangha mean to you? Is that what the question would be? Do we have time for that?
We got time, but
Oh, good.
that's the question. I think you gave a whole palette of all the possibilities of all the joys and the sorrows and the frustrations and the likes and dislikes and tenderness and the whole shebang. So that sounds good to everybody? What does Sangha mean to you? Is that the question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Sangha or Asanga, yeah.
Constance gave you a heart. Okay, so how many people in a group do you think? Might want to do because we got some time, we might want to do a slightly bigger group so people can really talk to each other.
You're
What do you think, maybe 4 people, if you can do it? People, you should, some people may get 3. I'll try to match you up here, and then you've got 15, more than 15 minutes, I think, so everybody can really, why doesn't everybody just take time to like about 3 minutes to just explore whatever comes through you, and then time to talk together? Okay?